and you gonna murder this one and murder that one. Talking all that bullshit. I'ma put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, it's me and my only friends, which includes, but is not limited to, Melissa!
100% he was gonna do that.
Did you guys hear how fast that intro went today?
I would have bet my entire life savings you were gonna throw it to Melissa.
I was doing this with my...
It was
without
legit
looking, and I stabbed myself in the eye. I was just crying, and don't put the camera on me.
Yeah, I was
the
like,
only time he ever throws it to me, obviously.
I really hope. I don't know if Guapo turned the mics on before or after you said don't put the camera on me.
Because I literally, as we were starting, stabbed myself in the eye, and then it was just all over my face, I think.
Well,
I look cute. I was running late today. Like, I just didn't feel like getting out of bed. So.
Well, I'm glad you volunteered that information and didn't try to gaslight this into me making us 15 minutes late per usual.
Well, no, I got here at like 11:56.
Shut the fuck up.
What do you mean? Shut the fuck up. I don't know. What time? It was like
don't appeal to authority.
It was like 11:56. And then we had to wait so that he could do the in the muck hand, and then I was, chilling.
All right, I sent ETA at noon, and you guys were not in the door yet.
Huh? Well, okay, I parked at 11:56, and then we walked.
Well, there we go.
It's 4-minute walk from the outside.
No, we got here like 11:58 later.
That's 11:58.
This is the shit that I'm talking about. I got
Maybe it was 11:59.
No, don't even bring up the water thing because I know it was you. Okay, don't even bring it up because I know it was you because there's nobody else it could be. Don't even bring that up.
Conrad doesn't fucking drink water anymore?
No, he drinks soda.
No, that's not true.
He's got a pound. Wait,
you know what he does?
Is that a pounder? Is that a Diet Coke pounder?
Yeah, those are good. The tall boys.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
They don't have small cans anymore.
Wow.
They don't?
They want to inject it into your veins.
At most gas stations.
Don't they? Oh,
Yeah,
I was gonna say they have those like mini ones.
Well, now we're in the age of energy drinks, so they're making soda look like energy drinks as well. Putting it in the same category.
Basically the same thing.
I actually poured out the water and just put it back in the container.
That actually that would make a lot of sense. I could see that being a case. I could also see him stealing my fucking electrolytes and filling up a used plastic bottle of water.
Yeah, but that's plastic bottle, so it's not the water.
No. I took the water jug off. I emptied it in the sink and then I put it back.
Do that?
And then he recorded you
because he hid your poop.
He wants to watch the world burn.
Yeah. Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Maybe this whole time it was never like Arieh that left it empty and it was just Conrad and just shut his mouth the entire fucking time.
That would actually be funny.
It would just probably be true.
I mean, based off the consistency of it being a Sunday, I feel like you were probably guilty more than once. But I digress.
Did you put the fake poop in the new one?
It was
Conrad
never
hid
me
it.
because I would know better.
It's in the garage.
By the way, I found the poop and I found the pan.
Whoa, my
Lord. You're a terrible hider.
I wasn't really trying. I just threw it in a fucking cabinet and I threw it in the garage.
Yeah, you could have thrown the pan away.
I should have thrown everything away.
In the garage, because there's a use for it.
No, it's going in the garbage. Eventually.
There was we used to have a water dispenser in the garage, aka gym.
Mm-hmm. What happened to it?
Was it you or was it Landon?
Probably Landon.
That decided fruit was a good idea to put inside of a water dispenser.
It was Landon. He wanted cucumbers in there. I remember.
And they rotted?
Oh, they rotted bad.
Wait, remember when Landon put the algae, the bottle jug with the algae?
I mean, to be fair, that could happen to anyone. I did it here.
You can see that it's green.
Well, it wasn't green, but yeah, there were particles floating. I did it here because you go from light to dark and you don't necessarily notice the change. And then I dump it on, and Andre's like, "There's shit in there." I'm like, "Is there?"
Yeah.
You drank it?
No.
You're really not supposed to leave the water jugs outside.
I know. Yeah. We're gonna get plastic poisoning or whatever.
No,
it's in the shade.
It's in the shade.
No, sometimes it's not. Like sometimes the sun.
Depends on probably what time of year it is.
Sounds like you have a job to do when you get home.
Move all of them inside.
Yeah.
What do you think all this work at the gym is for?
Let's go, muscle mommy.
Yeah, so you
That's
can
what
move
I'm
around
saying.
water jugs.
Why can't they replace the water jug if they work out all the time?
Because they want you to get an extra workout.
Exactly. We're doing it for your benefit, Melissa.
Thank you. I appreciate
it's
that.
good to understand.
Yeah.
Will from Poughkeepsie says Pod without Melissa is like having sex with a condom on.
Hey,
That's a compliment.
Stay safe. Yeah, I know, but guys, stay safe out there.
Yeah, come on, Will.
Unless you're married or.
Well, he's married, but
you're trying for.
We don't need to be.
Or you have a
no one needs to be trying.
Or you. She's got her tubes tied.
Right. I would say pod.
But you can still get STD, so you could be safe out. Everyone needs to be safe.
Be safe. Step 1, be safe.
Do as I say, not as I do. What? How about a tough condom?
A tough condom?
Oh, man, he's really full of them today. All right, get Jaffe out of the fucking chat. I would say a pod without Melissa is like Twitter without Sean Perry. It's just not quite as good.
That means I'm the pod's equivalent of Sean Perry.
Yeah, entertaining.
Hoorah!
That was spot on.
I liked it.
Nailed it.
So I didn't post it on Twitter, but I posted it in our group chat when I clipped him out going hoorah, and I was like, me after I make $25. Hoorah!
Do you think he's disappeared from Twitter because a Marine has sought him out and ended him?
A Marine, like the.
Well, that's their thing. The hoorah it's a Marine thing. No,
you know what I think it is so
PJ used to do it to
he
me.
Bought a bunch of followers on Instagram because he has like 200K or whatever.
Yeah.
But his Twitter was very there was a big discrepancy.
Yeah, only 8K.
So I think that looks bad. So probably deleted it. That was my theory.
Right.
Feels like
Chill's
Twitter deleted him.
This is hilarious because the comment is like, this guy's not even talking to anybody.
That would be so fucking funny.
No, it's probably true though. It's really funny.
He's just literally in an empty room, like gazing off into the distance.
Set up his tripod and like pretends he's talking to someone.
I love how he like lowers his tone and just gets like very serious, soft. And the reason why I beat sports lines is because I move the line.
That's really good impression.
It's so fucking. I wish I had that
Matt's
sort of
getting
like,
better at impressions.
I consistently beat the lines.
I wish I had more tonal control, but I get like too excited, so I can't. I can never. Like this is me bringing it down a notch.
Yeah.
Very excited.
It's really hard. I mean, it's just so disingenuous. If I'm talking like this, I'm making fun of you for sure, 100% of the time.
Everyone's base is like very different.
Right.
And like our bases are very. Like, this is my base.
Exactly.
Based.
And if I end up in this zone, I'm for sure trolling.
Well,
You really
showers
sound
aren't
like
supposed to do that.
Right. Very condescending tone, but takes
It is so condescending, man.
This is how I should speak to Vertucci.
Oh my God.
Because it would lighten the blow a little bit when I make fun of him.
It would just sound like you're such a cunt.
Yeah, that's the point, I think.
You should just do yourself a favor and never speak to him.
I don't ever directly, to be fair.
There's no reason to, really.
Man, it's funny that like at this point he's just not in on the bit, and like it's just an ongoing bit. Like he responded with a novel to just a comment that was like within a comment thread, and he just sends like 10,000 words and then tags Daniel at the end.
I need that, bro. Happy for you. Sorry that happened.
The tagging of Daniel is just like so apropos to everything that's happening right now, where it's like, I already thought it was so ridiculous that he jumped to save Jonathan Little from the big bad bully. But like, I legitimately am an asshole to Vertucci.
Yeah.
There's no, like, there's no mincing of words. Like I actually.
Anybody in his position receiving your treatment would be bad.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, if ever there's a time for Uncle Daniel to play White Knight and save the guy who's getting picked on, it's definitely me making fun of Vertucci. Like he doesn't have the Twitter chops to keep up, or the ability to fight fire with fire, so he just keeps calling me a failed streamer.
That's fine. I had fucking. By the way, Kessler is like such a shit stirrer.
100%.
He's like in my DMs like, Vertucci's saying "F you, Melissa" on Spaces. I was like, I don't care. Like that's fine.
I don't give a shit.
He's allowed to say that.
I think I think it's great TV.
It's fine.
You gotta lean in at some point.
It's not on TV though.
Although I will say, if he leaned in, it would be so much less fun because it's the genuine disdain through which he responds that is actually like the funny part.
I just don't even.
Who's at the door?
I don't know, but if it's somebody, I'm gonna punch him in the face.
We're not. Do not answer, Conrad. Do not answer the door. By the way, if you guys continue to show up here, I'm getting a gun for the office because this is getting ridiculous.
That's
do not
right,
open that door.
You don't do it,
It's
Conrad.
bad security. You guys have terrible security senses. Conrad goes
It's not
downstairs,
you guys, it's
opens
just
the
one
door,
it's just
opens
one
the door
un-
for a stranger who crawled under our fucking gate. Like, stop showing up here, you weirdos. I'm getting a gun for the office. I'm not joking. I'm getting an AR-15 for the office. It's ridiculous.
She's not just a gun. He's getting the gun.
hey.
It's ridiculous.
Hey.
You guys cannot show up here.
I'll pay for half.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
probably going to be like $2K.
Oh.
See, good thing we.
Not only were you late, but you didn't even park legally.
I thought that I could
You
get away
parked
with.
in blocking somebody's
I
driveway.
thought I could get away with it.
Thought you could get away with blocking somebody's driveway.
Oh man, this is so
I
good.
was gonna say, in her defense, she did parallel park.
This could not have been
You know
better.
what's funny? You know what's funny is that if we didn't answer the door, our
Right.
car would have got towed.
Well, I
Look
don't
at
know
that.
about
You just
towed,
saved
but-
it. Maybe towed.
Maybe towed, maybe just
Conrad
graffiti.
just saved her like $300.
That's true.
Way more than that.
Really?
That's very
How
true.
much is it for a tow these days?
That would have just been the start.
It's also you have to go really like I don't know who all deals with towing, but I know in this community specifically they tow it to like fucking North Utah. They're like, you're gonna have to drive 200
Yep.
miles to recover
It's a
your
mesquite.
car.
Yeah.
Put it this way, Melissa's lived in Vegas for like 5 years, and the guy just said, "Do you have somebody that has a New York license plate out there?" So that'd have been the beginning of the problem.
Yeah, that actually probably would have been a bit of an issue. All right, let's do one more meme before we get to the whole Postle thing, which is a meme in and of itself. Ginge Poker tweeted something that is fucking hilarious, and I would love to see somebody replicate this at some point throughout the summer. He tweets an exchange that said, "Heard the funniest story. Deep in a tournament, guy jams river, and person to call says, 'Hey, can you call the floor, please, dealer?' The floor comes over and he says, 'Seat open, table 2,' and then he calls with the nuts."
I've done something like that before. Not that exact.
I think we
but
need to bring the
something like
sport back into poker. I mean, this is just like
amazing.
this is just too good, man. I mean, obviously you hate to be that guy, but it reminds me of you remember the first guy who won the $1 million on how to be or do you want to become a millionaire?
Yeah.
Where he used none of his lifelines, and then on the final questions he goes, "Can I phone a friend?"
Right? And you just want to tell him that he won.
He called his
$1 million.
dad,
Yeah.
and he was
Yep.
like, "Hey, Dad, I just want to let you know that I won $1 million."
Yeah.
And then he answers the question.
Yeah, it was
just like such
amazing.
a fucking dunk. It's great. All right, so
You can tell
apparently,
who's cool and who's not, because like all like the cringe people in the comments are like, "Slow rolling so bad," and then like all the cool people are like, "Man, this is great. We should do this more."
it's yeah. At some point,
If
you
you
got to build
just
up.
slow roll to just be an asshole and
Right,
just do
way
it,
different.
then it's like, come on, man, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
But if you're that creative and the entire table is gonna bust out laughing because they are,
Well,
then I'm
minus
sorry.
one guy.
Not for
right.
nothing. It's
well,
the
no,
same
but
thing.
he's a sacrificial lamb at the altar.
It's the same thing. You get to see somebody's fucking
Nice
pain when you
callback.
slow roll them.
Nice call.
No
You
matter
gotta
which
know
way you
your
look
cu-
at it,
you
you just
gotta,
feel their pain.
You
It's
gotta know your
great.
customer. You know, some
Yeah.
people are cool with it, some people aren't.
Yeah.
I think it's
Use
just
your
like
brain.
I think it's just like having witty banter. You have to be willing to receive it if you're willing to dish it, and there's always going to be a lot of humor in someone else's pain.
Like if somebody did that to me, I think I would laugh and shake their hand.
I think you would jump across the table.
I would, just laugh
To
and
shake
shake
their
their
hand.
hand. Right.
I would only do it to people that I know it's going to bother. Like 100% absolutely send them off the rails.
That's because you're that guy.
I would do
I'm an
the
asshole.
opposite. I would do it to people that I knew it wouldn't bother.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. It's
I
just
do it
like,
to Oaken all the time. Quite entertaining.
He's a good sport.
Yeah. I mean, we do it to each other.
Right,
You know? Well,
right.
he's just. I'm just a lot better at it than he is. That's where it becomes an unfair fight. Is when two people are willing to engage, but one person's like significantly better at the thing.
Might have to get Oaken on here one of these times.
He'll
just
come
to
on for
defend,
sure.
Just to defend himself for all
No,
the shit that you've
for
done.
sure he'll come on. There's no question about it.
She's
And then
back.
I could do
Yeah.
my Oaken
By the way,
impression.
I was
Jesus,
I was like barely blocking. It was like
Did you sprint?
So,
yeah.
so that guy is Graham whatever, and he's the biggest cunt in the world.
Yeah, he was.
He's the biggest cunt.
And also, like, he's acting like he's in a rush.
Yeah.
And then he's just like sitting talking to the neighbor.
He just sits in his fucking driveway, in his garage on his fucking speed
Peloton
bike. Yeah,
shit.
he's fucking loser.
Yeah, I was blocking like 6 inches.
It's a lot.
Is it the guy here
It's
on
the
the
bald
right?
guy.
Yeah, the bald fucking
I don't know
huge
what he
guy.
looks like.
His name's like Graham something.
I
He's like a
I-
business
I'm like,
insider
sorry.
guy. I don't know what he is.
I'm like, sorry. And he's like,
He's a piece of shit.
He's like putting his hands up in the air.
I smoke weed in front of his house just to piss him off.
Yeah, I'm gonna park there again.
Yeah, just like when his garage is open, just sit there and smoke.
That was annoying.
Isn't this the guy with like the massive finance channel?
Yeah.
He acted like
You guys are so dumb.
He's such a cunt.
You're so dumb.
Why? He's never gonna come on our podcast.
I literally text with him.
Well, tell him to stop being a cunt.
All right, he's a lifelong cunt.
He acted like he was in a rush, and then he's just like talking to the neighbor.
Well, you parked in front of his driveway.
I barely parked in front of his driveway.
Jesus
Landon
Christ.
saw.
Don't get me into this.
It wasn't that bad.
Landon doesn't know the rules of the road. Anybody can see that.
License free.
Beautiful day out.
You know, if you got here a little earlier, there might have been a spot.
It's a beautiful day out.
It's really nice out.
All right. So yesterday, after 4 long years, Mike Postle broke his silence. Big shout out to Todd Watellis. He retweeted.
He loves it, man.
I'm not even sure who the person is that recorded it because I didn't listen. I'm sorry. I didn't do my due diligence, but it looks like it was Jeff Hall actually recorded the space, which is great because at some point, I guess I'll consider going back to listen. But apparently it was just 2 hours of babble.
Yeah, it was a nothing burger.
Yeah.
Just nothing.
I heard.
Are we supposed to be surprised?
I'm not.
No, I mean, all right. So I guess there's a couple things that we can talk about here really quickly, and then we can put it to bed. But first, I heard he was like floating some conspiracy that he was in on the whole thing, and that like he had been like a part of a takedown operation a year before Veronica even started to take notice. Like he quoted like the movie Prestige or one of those magician movies.
The
and he's
Illusionist,
like,
maybe?
The Illusionist, maybe. Yeah, he's like, have you ever seen that? And the whole place is just silent. And then someone's like, sure. And he's like,
get on with it.
It's like, what if the trick was you tricking yourself?
Huh?
And like just babble.
Thinks he's Vin Diesel or something.
Yeah, just family. No, that's
going on?
Bertucci. Just sheer babble for like 2 hours. As best I could tell, and it looks like he wouldn't field any questions, so nobody could press him on anything.
Someone asked if he wanted to. I jumped in for a second, and then I was like, "What am I listening to?" Because he wasn't saying anything.
Right, which in 4 years, how could you possibly get your story straight? That seems crazy. But I can also speak first-handedly from my DM. People were all through my mentions like, Postle's on, he's talking shit, he wants to be
Yeah,
I don't
Kessler,
care.
but after being like,
He DM'd me like 3 times.
F you, and then he goes, Postle's on. I'm like, bro,
Yeah, he
What are you
DM'd me
doing
like
here?
3 times. I don't care.
I don't need live updates.
But apparently, like, he was complaining because he's DM'd me and I won't sit down with him like off the record and talk to him, and I won't have him on one-on-one. Here's the thing: when somebody has something to prove and they enter into a discussion in bad faith, there's really no point in engaging. And I have some value for my time that I don't want to go have a 2-hour lunch. Right, some. Not a lot, but some. I don't want to go have a 2-hour lunch with a guy who's going to explain to me, like, for 2 long hours just talking in circles about how he's innocent when I've seen more than enough circumstantial evidence to prove otherwise.
Right.
So that all just like feels like a giant waste, and like platforming him and having some sort of one-on-one where I get to ask him a question, he gets to dodge said question, and then he gets to turn that question on me in some sort of capacity and put me on the hot seat to defend myself.
Why would you want to have a conversation with someone who's just like lying? It's like boring.
Right.
That's boring.
Right. And the thing is it also just it can never end well for the truth, because anybody who's like trying to spin a story or a narrative can very easily do so just by moving the goalpost, and when there's no moderator to kind of just like call it out and say, nope, that wasn't the question, like stick to, then you just land in some weird area where he's constantly zigging and zagging and you're addressing things that are nonsensical.
I know you guys didn't listen. I didn't listen to it either, but did he say if he has like receipts or anything?
Of course he
or is this
doesn't.
literally just like, this is what happened and I have literally
He
nothing
didn't
to
even
back
say
it up?
this is what happened. I don't think he's
No.
just
But
like,
he didn't say like, oh, I have receipts and I'm going to
No.
release them
He
or
just
anything like
floated
that.
out a bunch of like
just
what
said
ifs.
words.
See, like, I don't
He
understand.
like
like,
described the plot of some action movie, and
and
then,
he
like,
just expected
all
people to be
right.
like, oh, wow, that could have happened.
Well,
yeah.
it's like, yeah, that's the thing. If
Maybe
like
he
if
gets,
someone's
like,
proven
10% of
if
the
someone's
people to-
proven themselves
yeah.
to be like not trustworthy, then they need to have receipts, or like what's
Yeah,
the point in listening
for
to
sure.
them?
You guys know that there's a little side story to this, right?
Go on.
Thomas Keeling has a alternative theory that he actually was never there.
Your name's not Buttfucker 3000, you yo-ho.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
logging into my court with that as your screen name?
I just wanted to be able to show that.
Your name's not Buttfucker 3000, you yo.
There you have it. That's all
Yes,
I
it is, Your Honor.
Logging into my court with that as your...
That's old. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah, like anyway, there isn't a whole lot to discuss here that's worth drudging up. But like he's leaning on the fact that he quote unquote won in court, which actually isn't even true. It was basically
he still owe?
Yeah, he lost the countersuit of defamation or whatever he sued all of us for.
Defamation.
Well, yeah, but anyway, he ends up owing legal costs to Veronica. So the rest of us, I think it was all just dropped. Like he never served any of us, as far as I know, but she countersued, and I believe that she won. So that was the whole thing where he cashed some event in like Mississippi or some shit, and they tried to hold his funds, but he had already gotten it. And he tries to lean on the fact that the California court won't allow you to debate gambling issues within their within like the court system or whatever. Like basically they're only going to hold jurisdiction over the house versus a player, not player versus player. And I think that they even won that one. I think Veronica won that one as well, where they ruled in favor of like him paying back rake, but it was like a ruling of a couple $100, something along those lines. So, the whole thing was like much ado about nothing, and it sounds like he tried to make this happen like a year ago too, where I remember Deeb reached out to me. He said, I'm trying to get Veronica and Postle on a space together, and I pleaded with him not to.
Well, it's the kind of thing that sounds entertaining in theory, but in practice is not, because it's just like some guy who doesn't say literally anything truthful and is just like rambling, and that's really boring. And then like there's just no
there's no way to there's no way to press him, right? Because there's no gotcha from our side. Like we just have a ton of circumstantial evidence, and it's like if you keep asking the same question of like, well, how do you explain the bulge in your hat? How do you explain looking at your crotch? How do you explain these weird hands?
Starts telling the plot of a movie.
Exactly. He'll just be like, well, what if it was all a giant conspiracy starting with the Chinese mob and working its way through JFK?
He's setting the scene. He wants to be played by Leonardo DiCaprio in some action movie.
Yeah. And so it's just like, I know that people probably still find interest in this story, but this is nothing, and it's such negative EV to give this guy any sort of attention again.
I listened in because I was like, oh, maybe this will be like tea. I'm like, oh, this is boring.
Yeah. And I think like, all the people out there running spaces, I don't even know who all the different hosts are at this point. It's funny to watch them all like break off into their own collect. Yeah,
and
it's
then
great.
They war against each other.
God bless them. They're doing the Lord's work. Keep on your grind out there, guys. Yeah,
they're the boots on the ground.
You do your thing, but yeah, or don't, or you can just like totally stop.
They
that's
have
fine
their own
too.
community. I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
They enjoy it.
In any event, I think that their thought process is okay. Let's give him a little bit of rope here. Let him tell his whole story, do whatever he wants to do, and then somewhere down the line, we'll have him back on and get pressed by somebody that's. But like that's just never going to happen.
That's not their thought process. Their process is just like, oh, he'll come talk and people will come.
Yeah,
they just want
that's
like
fair.
the views, which is fine.
That's fair.
But it's just not as entertaining as like you would think it would be.
Right.
It's just like him refusing to, especially because it's only entertaining when you can like have a 1v1 or something. Like he wouldn't let anyone ask questions, so it's just like, okay, I don't want to listen to some guy monologue.
Right. And even if he would allow like a 1v1 with like him and Veronica, like Veronica's a whistleblower. She's not, I equate it somewhat to like the me and Vertucci beef in the sense that like I never had a problem with Nick as a person. It was always just like, from a business sense, I didn't think that they were operating correctly from a security standpoint, and we had precedent already set with Stones. And it's kind of like the same thing where it's like, Veronica notices some weird behavior for the better part of a year, says, hey, I think this guy is probably cheating, and then unravels like what potentially would be a deep-seated cheating, I don't want to call it a ring, but like, system that went all the way up to the security at the Stones Live Casino. What did you just do?
What you do?
I don't know, but
whatever you just did created a buzz.
Buzzing in our ears.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do?
Whatever you just did,
he plugged his charger in.
Don't do that anymore.
Literally, whatever you did, undo it. Thank you. So it's
that's strange.
Yeah. Well, we don't care.
well,
just don't do it again. So, like, whenever it comes down to it, it's like, it's not on her to somehow represent the community at large or the people that believe Postle was a cheater. She was literally just the person putting information out there. And now he personalizes it where it's like, she's the enemy. She's the one who attacked him. And if he can somehow discredit Veronica's take on the whole situation, then cheating could have never occurred. And like, that's just simply not the case.
So long ago. Like, people don't care anymore.
Yeah, people definitely don't care.
Like,
We don't care anymore.
do something new, and then maybe we'll talk about it. But
yeah.
it's kind of like, okay, it's like old news.
Yeah, it is kind of old
already
news.
been
It's like it's
covered.
been forever, and it has been
It has
forever.
That guy Justin was part of it, right?
Almost
Had to
certainly.
be, right?
Nobody's heard of him since.
Yeah.
Where that guy at?
He's smart. He disappeared.
Yeah.
Took his Tesla and hightailed out of here.
Let's go find out what he's doing with his life.
All right, moving on to the final topic before we bring Wayne in from Live at the Commerce.
That's weird
Maurice
to say.
Hawkins managed to get down to the final 3 at the Cherokee main event, going for ring number, I don't know, 27.
Who the fuck knows?
Who knows? He's very high up on the list. I think he's like second in the most rings. Somebody just passed him recently. But
I think it was
there's this
Arieh?
interview. They
Ari,
chopped.
yeah, I think Ari.
No, not Ari. An older guy.
Yeah.
They chopped, and there was an interview with Tiffany Michelle. Yep.
And all the wizards was at the table just stacking off with 40, 50 bigs. But you know, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to hang out. Oh, we three-way chopped it, but that dude won. So it's all right.
You have so many of these. Are you just bored at this point, or does it always feel good to do this shit?
I mean, this is what I do. I'm that guy, you know?
Okay.
And, you know, the haters gonna hate. I'm that guy.
Is there anything else you want to do because this is so just regular for you now? Do you aspire to anything other than just winning all the rings?
I mean, I just want to win all the money because I got a lot of friends and family, so I need to win all the money.
A lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Nice job. Everyone enjoys loving to hate watch you play.
Hey, your boy.
Okay, so I'm curious what your guys' take is on this interview. And before you give me your thoughts, I just want to preface it by saying it's very well documented that Maurice is indebted to a lot of people. So, you know, this is very similar to like a Chino Reem type situation where he's a great player. Obviously, he wins tons, but he always has a line of people following him to the cage after he ships something. So I'm curious what you guys think about this interview, the tone, you know, and things of that nature, knowing what his past is.
Kind of odd, a little bit. You know, like you have a bunch of people money, like you win money, like okay.
I mean, they probably are happy to know that he's gonna have some money.
No, they aren't. 20 hours ago, one of the main guys that came out about him owing wrote a big long thing about how he's blocked on everything and everything.
But he could show up there, and knows he.
What the fuck is that gonna do? Show up?
He knows he got.
What the fuck does that mean?
Bring the
Hey,
cavalry.
Can't strong
figure out
arm.
what the fuck you want. By the way, Arieh is number 1.
Okay.
He has 16. Maurice has 15.
Okay. I don't know the older guy's name, but
Dan Lowry, he has 15 as also.
Okay.
It's actually pretty sick. Maurice has 2.5 million in circuit earnings only.
Just in circuit earnings?
Yep,
Wow.
and Dan Lowry has 1.8
Mm-hmm.
after winning the monster stack the other day for fucking like 150. It was a $400 buy-in. $150,000. It's fucking absurd. Cherokee was off the chains.
Sounds like there's a lot of money in the streets of.
How much did
circuit.
Maurice get for that chop? Did we know?
180.
180,000?
No, because it was 383 for first. It has to
It
be
was
more than
170.
It's a
180.
three-way chop.
It was a 3-way chop. You got 173.
There you go.
Okay, so 180.
Yeah, I mean, they might have chopped, you know.
No,
evenly, but
how?
yeah.
Like,
No.
I thought third was
He probably
180.
got
Wait,
about
time
second
out.
place
I
money.
thought third was
Oh,
180.
doesn't matter,
Third
you
was
guys.
like 173. First was 383, so it's impossible for him to get 170. It's absolutely impossible.
Maybe he took third place, and that so it's saying third place money, but he chopped for more.
All right.
Okay.
So
Okay,
whatever.
so it's north of 200,000. Do we have any idea how much he owes? I mean, I guess that's maybe a number we couldn't ever know.
sounds like a
for real.
mystery.
I think.
But is there like a an estimate?
I mean, we can
He's
just
raising
start,
his hand.
we can just look at Randman's Twitter.
I think before we get to that, to kind of answer your question, Matt, I don't know if this is what you were leading to, but
nice shirt,
I think from
Guapo.
Tiffany's, thank you. I think from Tiffany's standpoint, I think because the tone of the interview was just kind of like fun and like not too serious, I think it puts her in a tough spot to maybe answer or to ask the question that I think everybody wants to know. But does she bear some type of responsibility to ask? I mean, I guess that's what's debatable.
Thank you for answering the question, Guapo. That was where I was headed with this.
Debated on the number that he won, like for no reason.
I don't think she bears any responsibility for it. There's going to be plenty of fucking reporters that don't even know his situation and stuff like that. And just like poker reporting, kind of like there's new people every week.
Yep. I couldn't disagree harder with that take.
So it's just like there's.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that take. They are a poker media outlet. Whether you're talking about Poker News or Poker.org, they're the two mainstream poker outlets. They bear responsibility as reporters to
ask the tough questions, right?
I don't even care about the tough question. I care that it leaned into celebrating Maurice in a way where he's the guy.
Yeah, they even wrote like everybody's favorite player, and someone was like, "That's no one's favorite."
Well, like she ended it with like everybody's favorite player to hate, and it's like, well, you're totally taking your eye off the ball. He's disliked because he owes a bunch of fucking money in the community.
It's not because of like his antics.
Right. And so like for me, and I don't fault Tiffany for this because it's like she's just trying to get good content. That's her job. But I do think that whenever we're talking about media outlets, like it's totally different if we have Maurice on the pod. And even then I feel like we bear some responsibility. Like I mean, personally,
those questions would get asked if he was here.
Right. That's what I'm saying is like
it probably comes from the top, right? Because like
no, probably not. It probably just got overlooked.
Maybe, yeah.
But if you're, we'll go ahead and finish what you're gonna say.
I just mean like maybe the direction is, hey, we want to get this fun, lighthearted stuff, and we don't want to lean into the darker side of poker in this.
Fine.
In this.
Fine. It was a three-way chop. Why did he get the interview?
Yeah, I feel like they don't micromanage the direction of the content.
I don't know
much either.
There were no other interviews for the other two.
I didn't see any.
No.
I didn't see any. If I did,
Tyler had an interview.
I mean, my problem is not that he got interviewed. My problem is not that, or I guess my criticism is not that it was lighthearted and fun. My criticism is that it propagates his grift. Right? Whenever you celebrate him for quote unquote being that guy and you dismiss that he's the favorite guy to dislike without providing the context as to why the community dislikes him, then you're just propagating the grift because there are going to be a lot of casuals who play on these tournament circuits. And we know one of them, she's very near and dear to us, and she got rolled for quite a number from him. So it's like there are going to be a lot of those enthusiasts that play these circuit events.
Like free rolling swaps or like...
No, he just stole from her. Like he asked for backing and won and never paid back. Like it's the grift that he's been running, right? Okay. He's done it to dozens of people.
Yeah, so then if you're like being propped up, like you can be like,
he does his win. He's the biggest circuit winner of all time. Like he was being very honest when he says, I have a lot of friends and family with mouths to feed. He's right because he owes infinite, right? So when that's the case, I feel like all media, but specifically news media outlets, bear a large responsibility to not help propagate these grifts.
I suppose that's kind of the issue when some of it or to a lot of it is speculative, where how much money does he owe? He's never going to answer that question.
But we know he owes.
Sure.
Okay. So
you can say at least this much.
Right. So then don't give him the hero's interview. You just can't. It doesn't matter if it's good content. It doesn't matter if it's in good fun. It doesn't matter if
why are you platforming this?
Right. It doesn't matter if you're leaning into this anti-hero sort of narrative.
Is he even
right?
an anti-hero? It's just kind of like a villain.
Well, but the context of the interview would be more of an anti-hero.
Right. People just love to hate this guy.
Favorite player to hate, right? That's not villainesque, right? But the truth is, whenever we peel it away a little bit, and the people who are in the know understand that there's an absolute grift running here. And you won't see him in the winner's circle. You won't see him continue to be that guy if he stops finding the ability to get buy-ins through rolling people, right? And the only way to cut the head off the dragon, so to speak, is to stop highlighting this type of shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you know, I love Chino for the person that he is, and you know, as far as I know, he's really tried hard to make good on all his debts, and at this point, he might even be debt free. But it took a long time for him to get to that point, right? And throughout that whole time, he was winning a bunch of events, and all of the media was just creating a darling. And it just perpetuates the grift, you know? It allows it to continue to happen.
It's like like I said, it's almost like they don't want to shine a bad light on the bad things that happen in poker. Right? So it's like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's probably wrong, right?
Sure.
Like, because you are perpetuating the grift. But like, I think maybe that's why you see this happen a lot, right? You see like these players that have a bad name that definitely like they owe money all around town, but then you see them win something and they're like, oh, look at this player, they're so great, they win everything.
It is very
and it's just like they want to have like not an anti-hero but an actual hero.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird that this community is like just based off of things that happen where this is only a poker problem. You know, like in other like industries or sports events, like
I think you might see this in like finance, VC,
Crypto.
tech, crypto for sure.
Yeah, look, I think all the rugs
but the thing
that happen
about
in
crypto is, I think it's less like they need to have a hero narrative. Like I think they're more open about like being mean. To
and
people.
crypto's not like it's not like a competitive sport where
Right.
like you have like winners and losers. I mean, you do have winners and losers, but it's not like, you know,
there's more
a competition
grift opportunity.
thing.
I think though, like there's a lot of grifters, but it's also less like glorifying.
Yeah,
it's not a very mature space either. Like at some point, the heroes of that space will start calling out the grift, and you saw it with BitBoy, right? Like
every cycle there's a main
trashed.
character, and then they kind of blow up. Like
And there's
SBF was
memes.
like a big hero for, and then you know obviously so. Yeah, I mean that happens, but I think poker is a little more. I don't know. It seems like the media has leaned on a little more to like create these storylines.
I think that they kind of have a sense of like willful ignorance where they just willingly either don't acknowledge this type of bad behavior that exists, or you know, they kind of like brush it to the side, and you know.
I think it would be kind of like based if they were like, hey, we're here with Maurice. He owes a lot of money.
Yep.
Like that would be kind of like
how much money you owe.
I'd be like, that's pretty funny. Like
it would be.
I mean
it's
honest.
Because especially if he thought he was getting like this flowery interview.
By the way, and Maurice also owes a lot of money, but yeah, tell
just
us about
hit him with it,
your
right,
run.
and catch him off guard. I don't know how he would react.
Pretty funny.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there's a particular answer for this, and I don't want to make it sound like, you know, I'm pitchforking against Tiffany Michelle or Poker.org or anything like that. It's just more so something that was very obvious to me that should be addressed.
It's a weird look when someone owes a lot and it's like, oh, like there he is again. Like, how do you do it?
It's
like,
just more the celebration of it all, right? It's just
this camera's been on me for like so
guapo quit.
I'm feeling uncomfortable.
what am I supposed to say?
It's just been on me only.
But yeah, so anyway, he did chop the Cherokee main for somewhere around 200K, three-way chop. And we have a little bit more poker news that's leading us into our next guest. Bally's Live, or I should say Bally Live, is that's the first question I'm going to have for him is about this fucking name change. Bally Live is launching live at the Commerce this Sunday. It's going to be a 200-400 game, and we're going to get all the details from the game runner himself. Mr. Wayne, remind me what your last name is.
Chang's fine.
Okay, I didn't want to mispronounce it. There's an I in there, isn't there?
Yeah, just Chang. It's fine. It's everyone knows.
I was going to go Chang,
yeah.
so I didn't want to, I didn't want to embarrass myself. Here we are.
Well, you said it anyway.
I know. Well, it's different once I get permission, All right. So Sunday is the inaugural launch. So you guys are all set up. You've been sending me some updated footage of the space. For anybody who used to go to the Commerce series, it was the old stadium bar in between the high limit room and the low limit room. Is that correct?
Yeah, the arena bar.
Yeah. So what's catch us up? Like, what are the details of everything that's going on? Who's playing? What can we expect from the stream?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of lights.
Okay.
Like a lot.
It's bright. It's very bright.
There will be light.
A lot of lights and black background. Is that what we're going with?
No black background?
Just lots of lights.
Okay.
Opening day, we have Rampage. It's 100 came in, not just 200, 400, 400.
Okay.
And yeah, that's to kick it off. And we're going to be announcing the lineups momentarily. And there's going to be a sick Live at the Commerce promo that was made. And yeah, it's kind of just a lot of people, even pre-Moneymaker, including like, myself, JRB, Maria Ho, just like we went there and we started at the bottom at like 3.5 no limit 200 buy-in, and like Antonio Spendiari and Phil Locke were sitting at like 1020 no limit uncapped and higher. And we're just like, oh damn, that'd be so cool. And then you're there and it's just another poker game. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, kind of true.
Yeah, I mean, just like Commerce has never had a live stream. So this is the first. So it's kind of a very special event. And in lieu of that, a lot of people who started there, including myself, pre-Moneymaker boom, we're going to get quite a few of those people back. The most notable regular will be Phil Locke every Thursday.
Oh, nice. What stakes are those generally going to be with Phil?
25-50 with 100 big blind ante.
Okay. So are we going to see a lot of the old Live at the Bike regulars like Barry and Eric Hicks, that whole crew?
Funny, I mean, I'm talking to them like, regularly. Barry Woods is on March 7th. So I don't want to like drop too many names because Commerce's compliance is incredibly strict. Even this morning, I'm just like going back and forth. Like people need to give like information, blah, blah. Obviously you're okay. But just like some people are like, I don't want to give this info, this info. It's not like they do anything wrong. They just, being extra cautious. But, so is Commerce. But yeah, and so week one, now it's full, but you had it in week two. And you're also in the debut day,
Yeah,
the 100 came in.
I'll be in there for the 200, 400, getting in the mix.
Let's go.
What, the obvious question: what are the plans with Garrett and his return?
Who's Garrett?
My thoughts exactly.
Garrett already returned. It's the
re-return.
What was your quote again? It was like it'd be nice to see Garrett back in the ring or something. You're looking forward to playing with him.
Me?
Was that your quote?
That sounds about right. I don't mind playing with Garrett. I enjoy it. I know I'm getting a good game if Garrett's in it. So I'm always happy to be invited if he's in the lineup.
We will try to make that happen. Stay tuned for promos to see, at some point, some Berkey versus Garrett.
What day is this, Matt?
The kickoff is Sunday. Is it going to be live stream or are you guys going live to tape?
It's going to be live stream and it's going to be on the Stadium Network, which has 160 million. So I don't know what the term is. Like it goes to 160 million homes, and just it's going to be on there live for 5 hours, obviously with a delay. And just like we're like the whole reason Bally's bought Live at the Bike was for a bigger vision, and we had LATB, Live at the Commerce, or sorry, Live at the Tropicana, Live at the Commerce, and then Rhode Island's going to have a stream, and Eric Person's heavily involved in that, the launch of that stream in the poker room. Plans are always changing, but in the beginning, Bally's intended to have like 5 streams in the US. So, you could, rotate locations, and then they wanted, a 24-hour stream of just high stakes poker. So, slowly but surely, it sounds like it's going towards there.
Okay, so I assume that they're partnered with Stadium. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know the details.
Or they own it, maybe
that, but maybe I don't know. That like Bally's owns a lot of properties. Like, they have I think the only casino license in Chicago, which that's an obvious location for one of the future streams, and then they're in the bidding for, and one of the 2 New York casino licenses.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be sick. So for anybody who doesn't remember, Stadium used to partner with PokerGo. It's an OTT service that they were doing the Friday night poker way back when.
On Facebook.
Yeah, they would live stream it on Facebook. They're also like really big into college sports. I think that there's a lot of college athletics that's streamed there. So that's pretty exciting. Should get a larger audience available for everybody. Why don't you just give us a quick rundown of what the expectations are as far as the Bally's Live from Commerce scheduling will be moving forward? Like what types of stakes should we expect? How often? What's going to be the scheduling as far as like Bally's at Commerce, Bally. Also, what is with Bally's versus Bally? Explain this part to me.
Look, there's a lot of people who mean well, and there are a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Okay.
So it just, at some point we have to make decisions and we have to execute. So I don't remember how it got to that conclusion, but whatever. Bally Live Poker.
Okay.
It's here to stay.
So it's Bally Live Poker moving forward. And it's going to be
live poker,
live at the Commerce, live at the Tropicana. How are you guys working the scheduling and the stakes and all of those things?
So I'm only going to be handling live at the Commerce. So Wednesday, Thursday is going to be set at live at the Commerce. And then March 17th is a really big day. It's a Sunday. It's Eric Person has a really big game and a really exciting lineup. Hope, knock on wood that it holds. But yeah, just they do want to do every Sunday.
Okay.
Or most Sundays, and then have it on the Stadium Network. And Thursday is going to be Phil Locke, and then Wednesday Dr. H. Like this coming week. So what I wanted to do is you want to have different demographics and different generations. So this first week we have like Wolfgang, and then Phil Locke and Xuan Liu all in the mix.
Okay.
So, hitting a lot of demographics there.
Okay, so you're more in the creator space for the midweek game. That's going to be 2550, 2550, 100, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, 2550, 100 for both for now. And then I'm planning a really big like 500, 1000 game. And I'm sure how hard it is to schedule those things.
Yeah.
So
it's not easy, but it's one of those things where if you can get a couple keystone pieces, the game will form around it, obviously.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I've done this for a long time, so I know not to really believe people when they say, "Oh yeah, I'm in." But like, some of the people are serious. They're like, "Yeah, any lineup, dude."
Yeah. 200, 400 above, you can pretty much count me in for anything. But I know that I'm probably pretty low on some of the lists for these Eric Person games. That being said, when do we expect Garrett's return, if not this Sunday?
It's on his schedule because he has a kid and just he has family obligations. Like, I don't know how, like, he and I like talk in spurts. Like sometimes we just like don't talk for like a really long time. And then some other times we just like, talk and just, I went to his house to shoot the Garrett return promo. And then, he's got a daughter and like, he's got a lot of family stuff going on. So poker isn't exactly at the top of his priority. So it's kind of like when the stars align, when, specific fun players are in that he has good relations with are in, and then just go from there.
Okay.
They would incentivize him more. He can't really like, break away from obligations.
Yeah. I guess that's my final predict. Yeah. I guess that's my final question or my final follow up. Then with Garrett stuff, is he exclusive to you guys? Do you guys have like some sort of deal worked out where he has some level of commitment, some minimum number of games played or anything along those lines?
No, absolutely not. Like, I mean, like I don't know about like other streams point of views, but like we're pretty open to just play wherever you want to play as long as you're just, don't schedule with us and then bounce go somewhere else, on the same day. Just like, make commitments because like, the players were going to play wherever they like. Let's be honest, some people are like, oh, I feel lucky at this casino, and then they lose, and they're like, oh, I'm unlucky here. I gotta, change locations.
Yeah, but, I think there were just like a lot of rumors floating around that you might have signed a deal with Garrett similar to what Bally's at Tropicana signed with, or Bally's Live at Tropicana signed with Person, and then obviously, way pre this, when Live at the Bike relaunched, there was a lot of nonsense floating around that like I had some sort of commitment with you guys. So I think it's a good opportunity to kind of just put the bet.
We'll clearly are. So I play every game and a lot of stakes. I don't play the biggest stakes like live and online anymore. but like I hear a massive range of just like rumors, and I can tell you 90% of the people have no idea what they're talking about. They just have, I wouldn't even say like good imagination. They're basically just like see what they see on screen and just like do some, variation of that. Like, oh, I see Berkey on Live at the Bike. He must be like, have a deal with them. It's just,
of course.
Yeah, just
God,
like
I wish.
really.
Anyone who wants to give me free money, I'm interested.
I mean, there's a lot of potential like, deals floating around a lot more than before. It comes in waves. It comes and goes.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, as far as I know, and remember, like, a lot of things are past my pay grade. So as far as I know, Garrett does not have an exclusive deal, but he does have very good relations with me and several of the players. So it's like kind of like, why not? I do recall he's gonna go to the lodge at some point, but yeah, again, a lot has to do with like he's got like a kid. Like that's just the first priority.
Sure. I don't know anything about that, but I can imagine it's a lot. All right, let's get you out of here. Is there anything you want to plug or discuss regarding the show before we head out?
That's pretty much the major thing. I just want to, there's going to be some old school, mixes, some of the better combinations. I'm sure you guys can imagine that. And then I just want to mix generations because, like, vloggers don't always get to play with these old school people. So they get a, afterwards, after the event, they could, talk about what's like on their vlogs. And I just want to shout out to you guys. You guys keep up with poker really well. There's like no way I could do it. So I have a buddy I play with, Super Pro Tizzy, and he just watches your guys' stuff religiously. Oh yeah, and he just like reports all the highlights to me.
I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Let's get you out of here. I'll see you Sunday. 200, 400, 100K minimum buy-in. It sounds like it's going to be live on the Stadium channel. Is it also going to be on YouTube?
Yes, YouTube and the Bally Live app. Okay. And I do believe the last hour you have to get the Bally Live app, and you do get for watching you get like Bally's bucks. I don't know what you can redeem them for, but it's basically free money.
Okay. Hey, you heard it here first. Free money to watch me gamble it up in the stand-up game for sure.
And no ads.
Love it.
Love to hear it. All right, Wayne, thank you so much. I'll see you in a few days. Live at the Commerce, launching this Sunday. I've seen shots of the set. I know you guys.
Proof?
You've never been to Commerce, right?
Nope.
Lamanna, I think, has only been once.
I've been there.
Landon,
I've been there a few times.
I've been there once.
Do you remember the old like stadium bar?
Once.
Vaguely.
You have.
The space is massive.
Yeah.
Legends.
It's massive. Well, Legends was the bike, but
no, you went for this tournament that just passed, I think 2 years ago.
Damn.
LAPC.
Yeah.
Man, you guys missed the glory days. LAPC used to be 1.7 million to first place.
That's absurd.
I think the 10K. I think the 10K wrapped up today and was like 340,000.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Literally more up top in Cherokee for a 1700 or whatever
it's so
2200.
Shout out to Bakes, by the way. He was chip leading the final table.
Yeah.
Is that
what a legend?
Is that what happens when you take away the WPT brand from a tournament?
I think it's taxes as well. And like people just don't want to go to LA.
It used to not be an issue if first was 1.7.
Yeah. I mean, it's an issue in the sense that WPT brings people coast to coast, right? So when you take that name away, now you're only targeting the West Coast, and people in Vegas are just like, the tax burden's annoying. Like they withhold.
Also, Win Millions going on at the moment too.
Vegas became a lot more competitive, right? So you really need to draw people in.
To Texas too.
Yeah.
Viva
which again, very nice. No state tax. It's pretty great for them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. The space looks really great. I'm hopeful that we're not going to see another debacle like we did with the relaunch of Live at the Bike, where they had a bunch of technical issues. The set wasn't all that great. It was really dark. Yada yada yada.
They love the dark. Well, I have a feeling it's going to be dark.
There's lights. Wayne said there's lights.
Well, yeah, but I said black background, and then he said there's lights. So it's going to be a black background.
It sounds like you should wear a tank top, because if there's as many lights as he made it sound like, it's going to be hot.
I'm never hot. It's okay.
You're not.
I miss the fucking 510 Facebook Friday night show. That stream.
Oh yeah.
I actually think
Friday Night Poker.
Yeah, that's great. That's the only stream I think I ever liked watching.
It was a lot of fun to play for sure.
I loved it. I kind of
really
enjoyed it.
No, it was Poker Go. It was 510. They opened up the studio to like a lot of local grinders, and then they had like fans come in and play because the stakes were relatively small. I played it once. Yeah, Christian played it once with D-Negs and slow rolled 'em.
Yeah,
it was fantastic. The lineups were a little weird though. Like I think that there were
Frank Casal played them all.
Yeah, that's obviously
it was fucking amazing.
Frank, Mattisau, those guys were in there, but like I think like if they were to do it again, they shouldn't really focus on anybody who does play high stakes normally. Because the game is just like too small, and you're taking seats away from people that like have never been on a stream.
Get
and
the
this is their
tortoise in
opportunity.
there,
right? Like the tortoise can take a shot at 5'10".
But like, don't you think like the
tortoise can take a shot
Melissa's
at 5'10"?
like,
that would be fun.
I think it drives some of the entertainment though.
It does, but it's not sustainable. Like you just can't get D-Negs to play more than once.
Am the
you couldn't get me
entertainment.
to play more than once.
I thought D-Negs played a bunch.
No, he played once.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he played the one session with Christian. I
Okay.
played once. Jordan played once.
Frank played a lot. I know
Frank
that.
played every time, but
Every
like
time.
that's Frank's wheelhouse. He doesn't really want to play bigger than like 10-20. You know,
Yeah.
I mean he can.
Yeah, of course.
Bro crushed it in the scrub game, man. You guys don't even know.
What's the scrub game?
He has a company that builds like,
that
produces scrubs for like the
I
medical
feel like
industry.
there's enough, like vloggers and Instagram influencers that play these mid stakes that you could get in there,
For sure.
especially
right?
now.
For sure.
Especially
Yeah.
now, like
You would just be
this was like
replaced- Sorry.
2019, 2018, so it was a little less.
You'd be replacing D-Negs with Rampage,
That's
basically.
the main stake that a
And
lot of
something
like.
like
Well,
that.
Rampage plays high stakes though.
Yeah, but
Well,
Yeah,
He plays
well, he
everything.
plays
Debatable for how much
Yeah,
longer.
well, yeah.
I might end the fucking kid on Sunday.
Get timestamp bro in there.
Yeah, get
right?
timestamp bro in there.
Poker Llama, like
Yep.
he'd be great.
Or
Yeah.
just you, Melissa.
Me, Melissa.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
All right, bring
The
back
shoes,
stadium
the
poker.
shoes versus the
I
tour.
still think that
We should just have it
no,
downstairs.
I still think that we need to
We
do.
are a stream
okay, can
house,
I
I mean.
talk?
No.
I still think that we need to
Cacophony.
do a
No.
like a stream with all of us just for fun.
We can't. We're failed.
Yeah,
We're failed
a
streamers.
failed stream house. We can't get it to run.
Yeah, we've never.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's too
We
much.
tried restarting it and it
Right.
still won't work.
Yeah, we've tried.
We turned it off, rebooted
Okay,
it.
but actually, I think we need to get a game together. I think it would be really good content because we would just talk shit and like play. We would play goofy, like because
it actually
What are the stakes?
whatever.
small,
It
like
doesn't matter.
$1
When, when we
whatever.
played
That's not small,
Poker Out
that's-
Loud, like it was like we're just having fun.
It could be a fun thing where like we almost like say we took a Friday. If we could set up the downstairs, we'd have to talk to like Andre and Pigtails. But say we could set it up where it's just auto, and we just run it right. We just press go live. Maybe we have somebody switching. Maybe we don't.
Like,
whatever.
We don't need a commentator because we'll just talk the whole time.
Yeah. It
But
would
what
be,
if we do a podcast while
that was what I
we're
was just
playing?
about to say.
Like just do a regular podcast and then actually play.
Yeah, that was literally what I was about to say.
Melissa
That'd be
became
amazing.
intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So yeah, we'd have like
do that.
we'd have like the daily topics. We'd play hands in between, and then we'd have a
it's-
discussion.
Because people like to see like friends playing because you kind of like how you did some weird shit versus Landon. You know,
Right.
you kind of wail around at each other just to like try and get each
But
other.
the problem is, if we don't get 500,000 views, then Vertucci's gonna be right.
that's okay.
That's a big
he's
risk.
allowed to be right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, am I a bitch? Yeah, he's. That's okay.
That's fair.
It's okay. They're there.
That's fair. I can't argue
They're
with you.
there.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, honestly, like I think it would be great, and maybe you guys could like we'd always need somebody to switch, so we could just like bring in an outsider to fill that seat. You know, like maybe we have Jamin on, maybe we have. I mean, obviously Nikki would be in, Caitlin when she's in town, whatever. Yeah, it could be fun.
I think it'd be really fun. It'd be really entertaining, I think.
Efro said he's in, but we know how we feel about Efro around here. No shot he'd get an invite. He doesn't get. You don't even say hi to the fucking guy in the hallways.
I won't have to. I'll be switching all the camera angles. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, maybe
it'd be kind of fun.
You know what I think?
Let's start a new meta of friend group.
Right.
It'll be
the
cool
answer
and
would
cooking.
This is going to sound weird, but the answer is probably bringing one of the tables up here, because it would be out of the shot, sitting in the middle usually, and then all we'd have to do to actually run it is condense the cameras.
Yeah.
So we'd already have all the cameras set up here. We'd just have to adjust them a little bit. We'd already have Guapo's switcher set up. It's doable. We could do it.
Yes.
The security might be an issue, but
well, it's just
you
us
know.
playing for fun. Like if we cheat, if
Security.
one of us cheats the other, we're just gonna it's gonna be so weird.
I'm
like,
just getting ahead of the news cycle,
I know,
Melissa.
right? But
I
it's-
know
but
how
if
this
it's
spins.
just us, like I think it's just friend. It's like a friend.
They're
home
trying
game.
to call Poker Out Loud cheated. You know, like
If you cheat, you'll be forever scarred.
Oh, I think Conrad was listening to me in Poker Out Loud.
That was what?
based on the results, I would say he was not.
What do you mean? I won.
Yeah, he won.
He had aces 6 times.
Yeah, he was a card rack.
All right.
It was a card mechanic, really.
Was he dealing?
No, he was dealing himself.
Old Con.
He was in with the dealer. He brought a dealer.
Disassociated.
He will not lean into that bit. I don't blame him. All right, so
he's just giving you the death stare.
He's not even. He's staring at his phone, like side-eyeing me.
I don't even know what you said.
I understand. All right, so getting into today's major topic, I don't think we're gonna have time for In the Muck because I have to go. I got to see to Pelagio. But
nice.
Let's talk about this JBEX Landon betting market that is set ablaze. It's really getting wild out there. And of course, Cunty Cakes, being who he is, had to shit all over my cornflakes and ruin all the action that I was getting. Okay, so Vanessa, let's backtrack a little bit. I think this was like last Thursday or so. Vanessa tweeted out that she's been removed from poker for a while, but
she had something to say.
Sorry, I don't follow much poker news or drama anymore, but caught wind of people trying to light it on fire. Anyone reputable looking to do that, I'll take JBEX to continue slaughtering donkeys over Landon Tice winning his 0.2 big blinds per 100 GTO win rate or whatever at WSOP.
Damn.
10K min, hit me up. It's crazy. I have so much respect for Vanessa. I think she's such a brilliant human being, and I can't believe she's so not sharp on this particular
I can't believe you've done this.
So I was able to get 11.5% to her 10% crossbook. So she laid me 1.15.
Fucking Kessler is always yapping. This guy loves the drama. He loves just inserting himself. Like why is he in my DMs letting me know like what's going on in space? Like, he loves the drama.
Speaks that Japanese.
He just can't
loves
help
himself.
to yap. Yeah, loves to yap.
Lives to yap.
Lives to yep. I also filled some more straight bets of just who's gonna end up cashing for more at like 1.15. I think I got a little bit at 1.2. And you know, I'm still open to more, but I think that the conversation is obviously becoming a little bit more out in the open, so it's worth talking about. We can start with the Kessler tweet that Guapo just showed. Obviously, he's trying to shame me somehow for just filling what the market is willing to offer.
How dare you?
Right.
How dare I accept the price when people were... I can't explain to you how fast people snapped up 115. I mean, I can't explain it. It was like Daniel tweets that they're at a hockey game having a good old time and that this is the fucking sauce for winning all the bracelets. And I quote tweeted and said, I mean, Uncle Danny says that this kid's got the sauce, and I tend to believe him. So I'll take anybody who wants to offer 120. And man, my DMs were just like, I'll give you 115. I'll give you 115. I'll give you 115. It's like, okay.
I'll
you got me.
Actually, according to Kessler, you're supposed to reject that and take a worse price.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
That's a sharp move.
What would be the sharp play would be
So here's my question to Alan, and by all means feel free to answer it. What the fuck are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? If I think my guy is a favorite and someone's willing to lay me a price on the guy that I perceive to be a favorite, what am I supposed to do? Say, no, actually, I think I'm already winning it even. Why don't I give you plus 110?
Let me give you a better price.
Is this different than charging ridiculous markup? And if it is, how?
Wait, I don't follow.
Like people come down and like if I went out and sold at 1.5, but people were willing to buy, is that fine?
Well, I think
is this different than that? Is what I'm saying.
I would say this is different because they can counter with whatever fucking price they want.
Right.
Like I said, I'll take plus 120.
Right.
And they reply with, well, I'll give you 115. It's like, am I supposed to say no?
Right.
No, I don't think this is similar to the markup debate.
Because people are offering.
I'm also not selling anything. I'm not selling anything or anybody.
Right.
At no point did I say that I think Landon's a dog.
Yeah.
Landon is a favorite in this fucking bet.
Advertising or anything.
Yeah.
No, dog, woof.
Like I was like, I'll take plus 110. I got some at plus 110. Now I'm hearing that you're getting better, and I'm feeling.
Well,
type of way.
I think that
type of way. To get sick odds on like a near coin flip, and she's pissed.
I'm like, I could have gotten 5% more. It's fucked up.
I understand. That's how I felt when I booked the first 110. But
the reason I asked that was because I think this in somehow in Kessler's head, he's equating the two.
Oh, I don't think Kessler's doing that at all.
No?
I think
Okay.
he thinks
What-
this is embarrassing to us because we own a training
just
company.
trolling and stirring the pot.
Maybe.
I think
Maybe.
he's just
Okay.
a
You give
little
him way too
shit
much. You give him way too much credit for
So
trolling.
it's kind of funny because I'm not sure if you read your tweet where it said that I have a whole bunch of action already. But if anybody wants to lay a price, sure.
Right.
Like, and I don't think he understood that part.
No.
And yeah,
So-
I don't know.
Why is he yapping? I mean, he's not even gonna make any bets.
He's
so who
mad I won't
cares?
let him come on the pod. He's been asking to come on the pod
You know
since it was
why?
me and Christian
Here's
back
why,
in like
though,
2019.
Because he came at Tortoise.
Right.
So we're not gonna
Fuck
let him.
with Tortoise?
And I told
Yeah.
him,
You get fucked with.
Yeah, but I said
Right.
like you can come on if you wear a turtle costume. And
That's
he said,
very fair.
he said no.
I have one for him.
He said no, so it's like you can come on,
Yeah, hit
but
the
you
showers,
need
Brick.
to wear a turtle costume
Right.
because you came at our guy.
That's
and
right.
so sorry.
That's our guy.
Put the turtle on or you're out.
He did apologize.
And you
Yeah,
have
but
to
he
eat lettuce.
came at you.
But then he came at me
wanted
again,
to
kinda,
feud,
yeah.
and so it's like, okay, put the costume on, and you can come on.
And he has to
Shame.
eat lettuce the whole time.
Yes,
Shame.
and you have to eat lettuce.
You have to
Right.
crunch into
And
the
we're
mic.
gonna put you in a little terrarium.
Lettuce is too spicy for him.
Too much flavor.
All the flavor. Okay, so obviously, like, I think his big point is he's trying to double down on Daniel's dunks of saying that Sulphur is a garbage training site and that, you know, everybody should go to Jonathan Little's. And he's trying to reiterate that point by saying if they were a good training site, they obviously wouldn't be asking for odds on the kid who's playing all the MTTs. But we're not asking. We're just accepting.
You're receiving.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah,
It's like a gift.
Well, because there was so much demand for even. So
Right.
what's the reaction to that?
You raise the
gonna
price.
Have to give me
it's
some
like-
juice to give you.
when you go to Twitter and you just see, you know, Negronu's poll and all these things, like
Everyone going, I'll take unlimited.
the public is on JBEX's side.
Yeah.
So that's where the price will reflect that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So Arieh put a tweet out that basically said something to the effect of, you know, huge shout out to Berkey. Like he's backing his guy at every single price. He's scooping everything that comes. And that led to a big back and forth between he and Joe. Do you not have these assets, Guapo? I didn't realize that we somehow failed to include them.
Is this it?
Nope.
That has to do with Poker Steak. If you're
That would
selling,
be
go
negative,
to pokersteak.com. Nice weather
Alright.
today.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's relatively important. It's long, but basically, let me pull it up and then send
Dead
it
air,
to
dead
Guapo.
air. Shit.
Shit.
Someone say something.
So effectively, you know, he was basically giving me props for making bets on Landon across the board, and J-Mode popped in and was just like, "What the fuck are you talking about, man? This guy doesn't deserve." Well, first of all,
Rude.
Scott Baumstein popped in and said, well, he's asking for plus 125. I'm not sure how much of a fuck you bring it this is. He's got to be on the best side of this. And it's like, well, yeah, like,
No shit.
does anybody know that we fucking gamble for a living? Have people forgotten that?
Are you supposed to be on the wrong side?
Like, you don't
I don't
believe in
understand.
him unless you take like a less EV.
Right,
route.
like Landon gets shit for offering a terrible prop bet to Perkins and taking the worst of it. And now I get shit for offering a fucking unicorn bet that I'm taking massively the best of it on.
You can never win.
You can't fucking win with these guys,
I mean,
man.
that's so true with everything on the internet. You can't.
That's
people will
true.
be mad no matter what you do.
That's true. But anyway, I think
at least get rich when you do it.
I think one of the things, well, that's the biggest thing is like there's very high probability almost no money exchanges hands here.
Real.
So it's like, yeah, it's a very plus EV bet, but like, you know, it might amount to dog shit.
We're hoping that we cash in.
Yeah, trying to cash in a lottery ticket.
Lock in.
But I think the general consensus of the community that seems to come up time and time again, and these prop bets really illuminate it, is that they don't understand that poker is gambling.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are a lot of people who are like Kessler that take a ton of fucking pride in never putting their money in bad. And they believe at the core that there's like a way to play this game profitably with zero fucking risk.
Hey,
and
relax over there, okay? What's wrong with that?
And what makes it so bad is that they then look down on the people that are willing to stick their neck out, are willing to give a little bit in order to get a lot down the line, to gamble it up. And I mean, like, this is kind of the nature of the public scrutiny in all facets of the game, right? Like there's the Triton sort of product that is the elite of the elite playing MTTs, where there truly is very little gambling that's taking place here. You know, the real gamble is the fact that edges are so goddamn small that in any one event you enter, you know, you're kind of flipping a very slightly weighted coin.
Guys get so superstitious because
Right.
they're flipping for so much money so often.
Yeah.
The whole prepay, the backpack.
Yeah,
stand.
how can you not get superstitious? Like, it's so funny though.
It's very true. So yeah, it's like even when you're at that elite level, they're flipping a slightly weighted coin. You know, it's a coin that comes up heads like, you know, 5 out of 6 times maybe. Or sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, that is a weighted coin.
Six out of 11 times is what I meant to say. And you know, like we celebrate that for what it is, of course. And then you have like the shit throwing cash games where you look at like an HCL lineup and everybody's just like monkeying around, and then that gets celebrated for its own level of degeneracy. But if you find anything in between, like there are a lot of lodge streams where it's like some of the best poker that you're going to get to watch because it's a healthy mix of 2 or 3 wrecks and then 5 or 6 pretty established pros that are bending the rules of theory, so to speak. They're a pip or two too wide because that's what the environment calls for. And, you know, they're playing all in pots with one pair for a few hundred big blinds in a spot where like it's very easy for the child of the sim to look at that and go, blunder, you know?
Blunder.
And I think the community kind of adopts that sort of mindset where if you're not on one extreme or the other, then you are just bad at the game. They only see things as either you're elite and you never gamble at all, or you're just a degenerate gambler. And they forget the fact that we're just literally gamblers as a profession. That's what we do. We're looking for sharp spots where we have a very slight edge that we can fire a bunch of money at and absorb the volatility with. And that's precisely what this crossbook is. And I think that it's ultimately what JMO kind of illuminated in this thread, which was what I knew all along that was the kind of hidden secret here is the sample between Landon and JBEX is so fucking small. This is never going to be a true test of skill.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not even a secret. It's anybody with the brain should know this.
I mean,
offering odds on a 25 fucking sample session is just absurd.
I don't think
an absolute bum. That's
rude.
Rude.
I don't think that this is by any stretch of the imagination common knowledge. Look at the tone. It's not just the tone of the public. It's the tone of like very established pros, guys like Chance, guys like Lonus and Team Lucky.
Lonus was looking for odds on JBEX.
Well, eventually, because it swung the other way, but I'm pretty sure he
the
laid
line
odds.
has moved, but it's like, well, according to you, but not according to anybody else. You can't just say.
You just wanted it to move.
Say the line's
line.
moved.
In his head.
You definitely didn't fill any JBEX
Yeah.
plus 110.
Yeah.
There's no shot of that. So I truly don't think that it's common knowledge that there's very little skill edge in a sample this small. And for that reason, I think people view it through the lens of machine guy doesn't win in live environment. Live environment guy has big edge, therefore I'll lay a price. But at the end of the day, if all things are equal between Jermey and Landon, which they're not, they're certainly slanted one way or the other, and we can debate till the cows come home which way that goes, but it doesn't really matter. If all things are relatively equal, then we're basically just like flipping coins. If all things are not equal, let's say there's a big disparity, something like Fedor versus JBEX, right? Fedor is one of the most elite MTT players of our generation. JBEX is a daily crusher. If we threw them into the open field competition at the WSOP and we crossbooked them over 25 to 50 events, you could comfortably take JBEX at plus 120 and do just fine.
Probably win.
Probably, well, I mean,
be winning. Like,
yeah, you're probably slightly winning.
25 sample. I mean, it's just too small. You're
Right.
flipping.
People just truly don't understand the way that the like math and variance work out, and obviously, like, you know, to some degree, we're counting on that whenever we're on the sharp side of things, and you're very happy to accept plus money in situations where you're just getting the best of it.
That's why, like, I feel like we saw opportunity there because people were not speaking about it as if it were like close to a coin flip,
Right.
which it is because of how small the sample size is. So if you can get a weighted coin flip, like, why wouldn't you?
Right. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, like, this is where we're at, you know. I'm going to keep filling. Right now I have 100% of his crossbook action against Daniel at face, and then I have like another 25% at varying degrees of markup, and then I have like another 50 or 40K down at varying degrees of me getting laid a price in the straight up bet. So like we're fucking gambling hard.
So, like, where are you guys in terms of setting the terms for the bet? And
so this is kind of
D-Nex
yeah, that's fair. This is kind of on me at this point because I haven't really had time to address it and respond to him. And part of it is also I need to confer with with Landon's backers, right? Because I need to know what his volume is going to be, what his strategy is as far as like buy-in. I don't want to just like make it really profitable for JBEX to be in a situation where like, you know, Landon is skipping this whole subsection of the schedule or something like that. Like I basically need to inform myself.
There was a lot of people in the comments saying like it should be an ROI bet. Like, what do you think about that?
I think that's probably like the purest way to do it.
Yeah.
My initial knee jerk to it was we don't have to count buy-ins because they're only playing WSOP and there aren't very many re-entries.
They're playing side stuff too, right?
So now they're playing across town at all the venues. And I know Venetian and Win are more unlimited re-entry type things, where like WSOP has very, very, very few.
It's like most of them are one re-entry.
All the smaller events are a lot of the smaller events are unlimited. Maybe not all.
All Venetian and Win just about.
Yeah, no, I meant the WSOP specifically. Yeah, right. I guess maybe there really aren't that many unlimited, except for the like the really small ones with like that have a guarantee attached to it.
Yeah, it's going to be the big ones like the Colossus and shit like that. Yeah. But whatever. So
Colossus isn't even unlimited, I don't think.
It's
right. Yeah, it's like 2 a day or whatever.
Maybe like the Gladiator, maybe a couple other ones.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, the point was I was thinking that they were only doing WSOP, in which case like counting buy-ins is just tedious for no good reason. But yeah, with his terms, there's like a lot of things to push back on. The additional tax of if one person cashes and the other one doesn't, adding a buy-in for no good reason seems silly.
The texting about every fucking tournament you play seems like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Well, we need to figure out something for that. I think the easiest way to go about it is if one person is still in the event, then it's viable to be on. Because otherwise, you're never going to play 2 events in the same day. Because nobody's going to say, like, I'm on for the noon Venetian and the noon WSOP. You know, like, let's just see what happens. And then you just free roll yourself.
Right.
Because now if the other person just busts the first event, then they're on for the second.
It's kind of weird. Sorry. Go on.
No, I was going to say, so what you're saying is that if you say you're on for these 2 events, but you happen to not play the one, then it still counts?
Correct.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, you can't do that. You'll just free roll yourself.
Yeah, also, like, you don't want to disincentivize anybody from playing throughout the summer.
Right. You want them to fire.
Yeah, you don't want either one of them to be disincentivized of playing. So like not max late redsing a tournament after busting something, like that's not great.
Right, and that's kind of my point is like, okay, so say Landon plays something from the start and JBEX is in another event and then bust right around max late reg. I don't see any advantage that JBEX gained over Landon, right? Landon's still in the event. Landon could also bust and re-enter with the same stack that JBEX gets. Landon more than likely will have more chips than starting, but even if he has fewer than starting, like how big of a discrepancy could it possibly be if like starting is 20 blinds?
I just think it goes back and forth. Like it just like he's going to be late register. He's going to do the same thing. Like he's going to late register birds.
Yeah, but that's not even the point. The point is like in a one-off scenario, you want to prevent somebody from gaming the system. And my argument is there's no system to game here if somebody is still currently in the event. Now, if Landon had played and busted, of course, then the next person can't just like free roll.
If it's like a freeze out or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, say it's a free roll or say it's a freeze out and he's in something else and you play and you bust and then he busts the other thing and can go play the freeze out. It's like, okay, go play it, but it doesn't count. Right? Because that's very unfair. Now you could game the system.
But
anything with re-entries, I feel like you cannot game as much. But
Agreed.
Things where it's a freeze out, you definitely can.
Right.
So it's more just like, if I'm still in a tournament, but he busted something and wants to max, like, yeah, go nuts.
Right. The simple way of gaming it, Conrad, is if it's a freeze out, Landon bust.
No, I get what you're saying.
And he knows that max late regging will get him in with like 20% of the field left or 25% of the field left. He's like, you know, a big advantage to cash.
Yeah, I get that.
But it's really only in freeze out scenarios.
Yeah, so
I
maybe
think
freeze outs. There's not that many freeze outs. Like,
I mean, WSOP.
Right.
Well, the only time a freeze out would be played is if we're both agreeing to play it in the first place.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
If we're both going to register not at the same time.
It doesn't have to be a freeze out. Like it could be like a 1 re-entry and you bust twice and then it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? He can just go max late.
And that's what I'm saying. As long as you are still in the event, I think that it should just be clear that if the second person registers, it's on.
Okay, but then that also could be gamed because like if Len has 200 big blinds at the end of reds and JBEX shows up, he's like, I'm not registering this shit.
Who cares? It's 200 big blinds with 30 or 40% of the field left. Like it can't be that big of an edge.
That's the way to game though. Like just not registering.
I mean, sure, I guess. And maybe we can work around that in some sort of capacity, but I don't think you gain that much. Like you're punting on the EV of playing the event because he's going to cash at a slightly higher rate with the stack that he's built.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
it's like you just want to be in the tournament if you're winning anyways.
It just doesn't come down to cashes whenever we're talking about this bet.
It comes down to who can like win the tournament.
Yeah.
Like who just like makes two final tables.
Yeah, if you both cash on average like 15 times over the summer for 1.5 buy-ins, like we're going to exchange hundreds of dollars.
It's nothing.
Who fucking cares?
Right.
Like it's a non-event. What it comes down to is being able to win the event. But like, yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously if anybody's being super nitty about the fact that like, oh, well, so-and-so's chip leading, therefore I shouldn't register in level 7 when given the opportunity to do so, it's like, okay, yeah, fine, then punt that event.
I think you guys should have to show up exactly on time and you get 1 bullet per event.
But then you never play the second event.
That's fine. Ooh. This is what it is. This is the purest form.
It's like a headache. This
yeah, it is a headache.
That's what happens when you're gambling for...
Yeah.
When you think you have an edge, you jump through hoops to accept the edge.
Right, to get that edge, yeah.
You know? It's like, it was a fucking headache to play Nick Airball heads up. Trust me. Ask Galfond.
I remember.
He'll tell you all about it. But, you know, if somebody's just going to hand you $1 million cash, you deal with some shit. You eat a shit burger here and there. And I'm not saying anybody's going to get $1 million in cash in this scenario. I think it's like really, really, really unlikely more than 100K changes hands. But, you know, there's always a chance.
We're alive.
Yeah, we're alive for it.
Well, no matter what, you're going to have more than 100K change in hands.
Well,
you have so many side bets.
Yeah.
So should it just be that it's just mutually played events that you're both in at the same time?
In my opinion, yes.
Right? I mean, it could be as simple as that.
As opposed to what they want, which is confirm on or off the day before.
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't play, the event still counts.
Yeah. The only I just don't see any upside to that. Because you just free roll yourself too much, or you have to be really conservative and then you just miss a ton of volume.
What if it's a re-entry, like a WSOP, and it's a re-entry, and somebody hasn't gotten to the WSOP yet, the other person has busted once already, and so the other person has 2 rebuys where the other person only has 1? Sorry, 2 bullets where somebody only has 1.
Then 1 bullet is on?
Nice.
You know?
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't really know, but I think we can just be logical about this.
Yeah.
As of now, it's not an ROI bet, or it is?
I don't know. I mean, we haven't with what he drew up. It's not, but I think I'm very happy to count buy-ins.
Yeah, because he was saying in the comments he's fine to do that too. Like, people were just saying it's kind of more in the spirit of the bet, like to count ROI.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
Again,
especially if
I think it's negligible at the end of the day, but
especially for unlimited buy-ins. I mean, you can really get up there if you're just firing.
But that doesn't matter. It's never going to come down to the difference in buy-ins. Like, there's no scenario where they play mutually played events
over the course of a summer that could really add up.
Adding up in this instance is $10,000 to $15,000.
Yeah, because it's for both of us. Like, we're
10
both
to 15,000.
Yeah,
you can put 10 to 15,000 into one event.
No, you can't.
If it's a 1,500, you could, and it's unlimited reentries, you could buy in 10 times.
How many of those do you think exist?
I don't know.
What?
How many?
Unlimited reentries?
Very, very few. And how many on average do you think the other person is going to be in?
It's like a win. It's like a win 1,600 mystery where like one time I was in for fucking 7, and it's like, okay, sometimes that happens, but he's also going to be in for 7 in like the 1,100.
It doesn't matter. Like, the likelihood that somebody's in for max and the other one's in for min is so low. The discrepancy is going to be relatively small between the buy-ins, even if somebody fires. The reason to do more of an ROI bet, which I don't even necessarily agree with this, but I understand the point they're making, is that the notion of like firing hard early to build a stack.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Like, you could just fire and fire and fire, like Negreanu used to do in the 1K rebuys.
How did he do?
Well,
it doesn't benefit. Like, he proved this to himself. He fired hard in the 10K 5 diamond and it never yielded any results. Like, if all it took to eliminate ICM from the equation was punting off early in the early stages to accumulate chips, then all the rich people or wealthy pros would play down a level. Like, all of us would be firing 600s and 1Ks and would just be in for 10. and would just come out of the re-entry period with 200 big blinds a lot of the time.
Infinite ROI.
And it would just make infinite. But that's not the way it fucking works.
Well, we're not. But in this case, we're not talking about ROI. We're just talking about building a stack and cashing for whatever it is. It doesn't matter how much you're in for. That's why the ROI has to count, is what I'm saying. Right? Because like, yeah, you're like, how did he do? Well, like, I don't know. ROI wise, probably not well, but like he definitely would cash more, and he would cash for more if you fire like as much as humanly possible.
I would like to make that bet also.
What's that?
The person who just like empties the clip on re-entries doesn't necessarily over a large sample cash for more money. It's like that's just kind of like not a thing, because if it were true, then it would allow you to ignore ICM for a large chunk of the tournament and ignore chip EV. Which there's just no scenario where you can play losing poker and reap the benefits somewhere else down the line, right? Like, sure, your cash frequency might go up, but the total return on your dollar is, of course, not even right. The total return on your dollar. The total collection of what, like the total amount that you actually cash for, isn't necessarily going to go up exponentially. Like there's just not. It's interesting. The early levels just don't mean that much. We've proven this time and time again. That's why late reg is worth so much.
Yeah,
that's
true.
But in any event, I do think that counting the buy-ins is probably a worthwhile endeavor, just to level the playing field and prevent people from like dropping stacks and shit like that, which I know Landon's not going to do. So it doesn't seem like that's really in the spirit of the bet.
Wait, what's dropping?
Like if they both have to declare on by noon for 2 different events, JBEX could just drop a stack in the second event before late reg ends. If he's, still navigating the first stack, which Landon would never do that. So we would miss out on a lot of opportunities and get free rolled a bunch. All right, last thing before we get out of here is yesterday's Twitter Tuesday. We asked a banger, name one thing someone told you about poker that changed your game forever. We have so many answers. Let's get to a couple. Efro said, I'm not playing for the thrill of fucking victory here. I owe rent, alimony, child support. I play for money. Wait, did Efro say this or did Maurice Hawkins? My kids
thought that was Kanish.
Jesus Christ, Guapo, keep up. We know it's Kanish. I got stones enough not to chase cards, actions of fucking pipe dreams of winning the World Series on ESPN. That was a good answer. Terrence Reed says, winning doesn't mean you played well. Losing doesn't mean you played poorly. Likewise, winning pots isn't the goal. I think that's a good one. I think it's very good. Let's see, scrolling through.
Poker owes you nothing.
Poker owes you nothing. That's true. Ella says, very early on when I started playing, I heard someone tell an opponent, I would bet here, but you're not good enough to fold. Good to understand your opponent's abilities. Zing. Let's see. Zing. I like this one. PD Pablo at John Walker for Prez says, multiple things come to mind. Quote unquote, everybody looks like a genius when they have the nuts. This one's so true, man. Like everybody's so fucking smart when they have it. Second is, could you bet less and accomplish the same thing? Could you bet more and still get called as a value bet? And the last one was, you can't lose what you don't put in the middle, but you can't win much either. Because man is a fucking gambler. This is funny coming from Vanessa. She said, you can't win it on day one. I don't know if she ever heeded that advice. But also, you can try. This speaks to what we were just talking about, like the notion that you can somehow win the event on day one or increase your win rate on day one. I don't know. It's up for debate. I think there are a lot of people that do believe that's true. I think there are a lot of people who show up from hand one off the deck because they think the win rate is so high in the early levels, and it might be. I just don't know what the correlation between a high win rate early and a high dollar amount later actually proves to be. But I bet we could run some sims, run some trials. Let's get out of here on the final one. FPL Poker Player. He said, a 3-bet pot is just a pot. That's from one at Phil Galfon from Blue Fire Poker. Yeah. That's way back in the day. Wow. You guys don't even know about that one. Actually, there's one more. All right, let's do this one. Juan Ponce De Leon, which is at Drawstring. He says, you should get a job.
Amen.
Get a fucking job,
Get
mate.
a job.
All right, that's going to do it for us. I know we haven't done an In the Muck yet this week, but we are going to be back tomorrow with Strat Chat. We'll be sure to do an In the Muck with Matt Hunt. He's going to be joining us. Landon won't be because he's going to be on day 2 of the 400 win.
Let's go.
Good luck, young man. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, click the bell. Make sure that you guys are getting notifications. Also, if you are considering being a dealer this summer and you need help with job placement, don't forget to check out the Dealer Academy led by Jill Lopez. You can find that at academy.solveforwhy.io. We're also running 2 academies in May. You can get all that same information at the same site or hit #academy in the chat below. We'll see you guys all tomorrow, noon Pacific, joined by Matt Hunt for Strat Chat. We'll see you guys then.
Peace. Later, squad.